please let us know what in particular you're responsible for within the department. And I'm gonna say a quick word, if I could, while these members are getting seated, is that we are extremely excited to have two new board members, and I'm anxious to hear them share with you, but we have Ingrid and David. I know David is football coach at Asheville High. Wonderful time and does an excellent job there. So I have a little bit of love for him there. Ingrid represents the Emma community and will bring a really fast wealth of information to us to share with her community. So if we could just start around the room and introduce yourself.
I am Joseph Gooseman. I'm the project manager for Buckingham County Parks and Recreation. So anything that is construction wise, I'll be leading that. And then the greenways, once they go into construction, be helping with that. And then any really smaller project, kind of a few things I'm talking about today, kind of helping lead those action items. So.
Thank you.
Lena Richards, advisory board member, I represent the executive.
You are vice chair.
Am I?
I'm Kevin Connercoat. I represent Inca Candler as well, Southwest for those not familiar. I'm also the chair of the passive recreation land acquisition group.
Oh, my, very impressive. Can I interject you just a minute, David? Sorry. There are representatives from each one of the county commissioner or state house representative districts here. That's how the advisory board is accomplished. Yes, David.
I'm David Burnett, and I'm new. So I guess I represent the East Asheville. I'm kind of excited. I'm having responsibility there. I'm gonna listen and learn. And, but I'm a unicorn. I'm an actual native, born and raised here, graduated from Asheville High School, and
You too, not for that. Also native, also I graduated.
but I've been recently retired school teacher for 3 years. And I work in the insurance industry.
Glad you're here.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Max Stanley. I'm a program coordinator here with Buncombe County Parks and Recreation, and also one of the local coordinators for Special Olympics here at Buncombe County. And that kind of means just planning, and I'm one of the people planning and implementing some of our programs and running our Special Olympics program here in Buncombe County.
Coming up in May, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Ann Babcock, and I think I'm in District 3. And I'm also on the passive recreation bond subcommittee.
Matt Dixon, park manager at Lake Geneva Park. Also kind of oversee our south district as we're kind of switching towards a district model of how we oversee our parks. So kind of that south side of the river parks that everything surrounding Lake Geneva.
Nothing been happening at Lake Julian.
Nothing at all.
No lights going on now.
I'm Adam Zuki. I'm the office coordinator for Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, sir.
Lynn Peg, I'm not the program manager for the Parks and Recreation Department. I oversee the Buckingham County Schools Park and other outlying parks that Houston. And Adam sold himself short. He's not just the office person. He does all the financial business for the department, the budget, works with the budgets, pays the people that need to get paid. He does a lot. He sells himself short every time. So.
I love your introduction of him. That's my introduction of Lynn is she was one of my students that I had comments, and I tell you stories after me. And our director could not be more pleased.
So Allison Daines, Buckingham County Parks Recreation Director. It's exciting because I've been here for not quite 2 years, a year and about 7 or 8 months. So I'm very excited, lots of great things. I'm excited for this advisory board to continue being advocates and stewards of our parks. Okay.
Welcome, Ingrid.
Well, hey everyone, Ingrid Johnson, like said, from the Emma community, and I didn't know how much. I see that there's another section of like introduction and some other things to share, but should wait until that time. Thanks, Sarah.
Hello, I'm Derek Turner, West Nashville.
When he got that concise, they were asking me questions. Honestly, it's mountains. And I'm not sure exactly how this needs to be handled, but as introduction to advisory board members. Is this, will this be a time for anyone to share what she has to share?
For sure. Yeah, just tell us a little bit about yourself and share anything that you have.
Yeah, like I said, Ingrid, been enjoying the parks in this area for the last 25 years from East Tennessee, so not too far from here. But more so excited to be a part of this board to learn and listen, been more involved in the Emma community. We're actually started a small kind of park in that area. So I was part of the project management and development of just like a little less than an acre. Since there isn't a community center in that neighborhood, that's one thing that we've been working on. We purchased a commercial building, and I've also been project managing that cabinet space, which we. What was that? Emma, yes. So, yeah, really excited to be here. I did bring, I wasn't sure how many to bring, but one of the things that we do as part of Footer Emma is a lot of community outreach and learning from like the folks in the neighborhood, what they're excited about. So yeah, really excited to bring some of that. I'm also part of like the neighborhood council, so excited to bring some of the community voices to this space and also bring back things from you all to their space in ways that we can work together and learn from each other. So appreciate being a part of this board and ready to learn and work with you all. So thanks for having me.
Thank you, we're really excited. Any other additional words, David, that you'd like to share?
Well, I feel a little undersummed.
I think that's
No, I will say that I've worked with Ashley Parks and Rec on other things. Other things I do besides I taught school. I did coach football for 30 years, several places. I was at football coach, but I also did baseball and softball. But I also work with North National Little League, which still only with Asheville Parks and Rec. But just branching out into wider, I think we're moving towards the more broader Parks and Rec as far as when I grew up, the city, it was Bunko County, and it's not that way. We're just one big community. So just trying to branch out and find other things to utilize. I can come to these meetings now. When you teach school, you can't do that. Like, you're kind of confined to school, but I'm excited to learn and be for. I live in Hall Creek, so this is really convenient. We have all the meetings here because.
We're coming to your house next.
I should love to see you.
Well, this is really exciting. Everybody, it's a rainy day, everybody has a smile on their face and they've had good lunch. And so we're excited to hear what's happening with that parks.
Carol, do you have a full board? We have a full board,
We are missing,
but all positions are filled. Right?
except one vacancy, one
One
vacancy.
vacancy.
Great.
Fun.
Turn it over to our director too.
Yes, so several things on the agenda today to report. The first exciting thing that happened in October of 23 was that the Parks and Recreation Department was awarded a little over $4 million through the TDA for the anchor recreation destination for the Buncombe County Sports Park. We're working at making that a premier sports park and family destination in the county. That $4 million will contribute to additional turf fields. So many of you know, for those of you who do not know, we had a TDA grant that helped us to install 3 turf fields, fields 1, 2, and 8 over at the sports park. We're currently putting in a new restroom facility between fields 8 and 1 and 2. Those are also lighted. And so the additional fields that we're looking at turfing would be fields 3, 4, 5, and then 9 up at the top. And so with this TVA grant award, we'll be able to do that and light those fields. Part of that project will also include the upgrade of the current playground to an all-inclusive ADA fully accessible playground, as well as improved pavilion and renovated concession stand that'll be actually converted to a contact and first aid station, as well as park ranger office and storage for facility that occurs over there. So we're very excited to be awarded that grant. And we'll be moving that forward, and we'll be coming back to you with updates as progress for what we're calling phase 2 of the ENCA recreation destination. I've also been asked to do kind of a high level year in review for 2023. And there's been several really significant accomplishments. And I think that numbers speak volumes. And so I really want to start with a shout out for the programming and event piece component that has been going on. We started a new program this year called Core Community Outreach and Recreation Experiences, in which we take recreation, a mobile recreation unit, out into community, into underserved and underrepresented areas. That's been led by Matt Stanley with support from Lynn Pegg. This year, he hosted 26 events across the county and served over 729 participants through that program. And that was just a pilot program to go out and see kind of the response. We got a really great response to that. He's held community hikes. We held 4 community hikes throughout the county. Again, really targeting some of those rural communities and getting folks out. And then this was the second year that the Bike Rodeo event occurred. And last year in 2022, that event had 20 participants. This past year, we had 85 participants. And so real large increase of bike safety for that. And I know that Lynn is continuing to have some creative ideas to expand that program and really reach our community about bike safety. Camp out, last year, we held 1 camp out event. I think we increased our camp out events this year and served 119 families. Camp outs occur at Lake Julian. It is the only time that we allow to close Lake Julian. And the purpose of those programs is really to expose people that may not have otherwise had the opportunity to try camping, to camp in a very safe, controlled environment where we do programming and we help do cooking. And so that's been really successful. Special Olympics, we've got our large Special Olympics this past year. Year-round Special Olympics occurs. Many people are not aware of that. We have a big, large culminating event that occurs in May. But year-round, we have over 119 Special Olympic athletes participate in programming. And then at that large culmination event, we had 427 athletes participate, with over 700 volunteers making that event a success. So it's a really great event. Look forward to having those of you who can come out and support that program in May. And it's a really great feel-good program, and it does a lot of good for many people, including myself, being able to see the determination and the athletic abilities of the folks that participate. And then another really important highlight that I'd like to make that Carol alluded to is we just completed the annual Festival of Lights that happens every year in the month of December. And this year we served 778 more cars for a total of over 3,000 more people, which means ultimately we served 26,592 people through the Festival of Lights. And one of the great highlights of that program is that 20% of all proceeds from the Festival of Lights goes to the Special Olympics, which means that we donated over $14,000 to the Special Olympics. So that was a really great, yes, I'm very proud of that. And really looking forward to amping up those programs and bringing you more. The other thing that's going on is a few other successes that we've had. We are moving forward with our bond projects. I did want to mention that we will be opening new applications for open space bonds, and there'll be a tiny bit of talk about that later on. And I'll come back to it because I do have some Greenway reports. Thomas is not here, and I'll do that. But before that, I did just want to let you know that currently we are in budget right now, which means that we are making our requests for what we call CIP, community investment projects. And those are projects that are $100,000 or more. And so as the county cycle goes, we put in requests for these large projects in each department, and then they get evaluated and we'll find out. So we have put in some requests for park improvements. And so we're building our budget right now. And by April, our full budget should be completed and sent through, and then we'll find out where we land. We have also made recommendations for new staff members for the next fiscal year. We've requested several new staff members, as well as vehicles, as well as some of these large projects. And so feeling really good and hopeful. All of the projects revolve around beautification and increasing access to our parks for the community, as well as looking to our river parks to increase access by looking for the possibility of a new, hopefully fully accessible access at the Bend Creek River Park. And so we're working with North Carolina Fish and Wildlife. They've done a pre-design for what that boat launch and ramp would look like. And so we're in collaboration with them. So feeling good about the potential for that.
I think
it wouldn't start probably until, I mean, well, first of all, it would be to be, if it gets approved through in 25, it probably wouldn't start until January 25.
Yeah, and they have their own in-house fish and wildlife construction team that would do it.
Well, we would need to go out for
Yeah.
bid. We
Yeah.
would need to go through
Yeah.
a procurement process.
So there'd be a process out there.
I think one of the most impressive things, if you listen to the director's report, is the cross-section of the population of Buncombe County that this department touches every year. I mean, what if it's Special Olympics, or if it's the lights, or if it's, fill in the blank. They're touching so many people. I mean, I went out Lower Rush Creek Road, and there he was in his little van with his little community thing at Cane Creek. Oh, it was absolutely fabulous. The children were everywhere. And I cannot remember Parks and Recreation Department coming out like that. You did that how many times? 20 sometimes?
Yeah.
26 times. So that's what we're all about. Touch people wherever they are. And listen to what the director said. That's what's happening. Thomas is not able to be here today, so Allison's going to continue with next item on the agenda.
So for the Greenways report, so for those of you who are new to the department, there are two major Greenway projects that the department, our project lead for, Thomas Gull, who again, is not with us today, is our principal planner. He's working in conjunction with Joseph on these projects. We have the Inca Heritage Trail, also known as EHT. That Greenway runs through the sports park. We are in the process of working with the NCDOT for a new termini. It's been determined that the westernmost portion of that Greenway that connects to Sand Hill Road is not feasible at this time. And so we're working with the DOT at a turnaround point so that we will still be able to create a Greenway with the future project potentially down the road connecting that piece of it. And so we're excited to be working on that. French Broad NPO, Metropolitan Planning Organization that helps with funding through the federal government, has already approved the new plan. We have done a lot of community outreach and conversation with organizations such as Connect Inca and Connect Buncombe to have conversations with them. So we've really done this in concert with the community to inform them about the reasoning and best alternatives for alignments. And so we're excited as soon as all of that is approved through the state, then we'll continue on with that project. And that program. But until that gets fully approved, we had to stop all design until that is finalized through the state. The others is the Woodfin Greenway. So many of you know the Woodfin Greenway Blueway project. The county is responsible for Highway 251 Greenway as well as the Beaver Dam Creek section. And we are moving fast and furious with it. Highway 251 is coming along. We're hoping to get into right away here. We're looking at some alignment challenges over, for those of you who are not familiar, it ends at the MSD area location along the river there. And we are having some issues with our alignment creating a potential rise over the creek. So we've been working with the state as well as property owners in that area, including MSD, to have discussions about potential alignments in order to be able to end that and connect up to the Beaver Dam Creek section, which currently is under design. Equinox has been, again, working fast and furious. They're out there doing surveying currently and will continue to do environmental and surveying. So both of those projects are moving forward, and we're excited for the potential of a 25-year grand opening for the Woodfin Greenway. At least I am. So are there any questions about that, about those two things? Because that's just kind of real high level where we're at with those projects.
Now, are there any easement issues with either of those sections?
Well, we've not gotten into easements. We're just starting right away an easement acquisition for the Woodfin section. And so far, verbally, we've had good response. As far as the Anka Heritage Trail, we've not gotten into easement acquisition because we've had to readjust the termini. And so as we move into that, well, I'll keep you updated.
The Woodfin one is Big Dam Creek.
Yeah, we've got really good outlook for the current alignment. It's just coming up with that final section that will be permitted to occur. Thank you. It's a good question.
This may be a silly question, but is there anywhere where some of these plans that they're not finalized, but public that?
Yep, most definitely. And they are on our website. And there's a Greenways tab that's on the website. You can also, it's a very good question. And so all of the current status update is there, including the alignment. The updated proposed alignment is not there right now. Although we have shared that with Connect, we're happy to send that out to you all as well. And we'll be putting that up for the greater community once it's approved. It's a good question.
Would be other questions or thoughts to share on that? I'm sure you all realize this, but government work is far-ranging, long-term good planning with solid people involved. And I think you realize this. You talked about 25-year situation. We won't go into all that, but I see the next topic is master plan, and you all know that we've got to have planning years and years in advance. A while ago, the director mentioned something about planning their budget, and I thought she's talking about 10 years from now what they need. So we've got to put it on the budget now. Got to think ahead. So master plan is so very important to this department. So Allison, could you bring this up?
Yes, so we are very excited. The kickoff for our master plan is well underway. The important piece that we want to convey to you all and make sure that everyone understands, is we will be reaching out to you and looking for support. So the system-wide master plan actually encompasses 3 individual plans. And so it's the Parks and Recreation Master Plan. It is the Greenways and Trails Master Plan, which is an update from a plan that existed, that it was adopted in 2012. So it's a very outdated plan, so it includes that plan, and then it includes the first ever open space plan. And so those are the three components of the system-wide master planning process that we'll be going through and addressing. And for your information, Kimley Horn, we're working with, Kimley Horn is our consultant who have a lot of years of expertise in this type of planning to ensure that we've got statistically valid surveys, that we're reaching out to groups, and that we're going into community to find out what the community would like to see, how they're using our parks, and what we can forecast for the future, where there's gaps in services, so that as a department, we can strategically look at that, make a plan and fill those gaps in services. Along with that plan is a great amount of community outreach and engagement. And to talk about that outreach and engagement, I just want to set high level, there's several ways that we're reaching into community. One is that we have what we call stakeholder groups, and then we also have focus groups, and then we'll have community outreach, which are large community, big sweeping several community meetings. And then we're going to have what we call pop-ups, and those are when we go into special communities to make sure that we're reaching all of the far outreaching who may not be able to get in. So very much like going out for recreation, we'll be doing pop-ups out into individual communities so that we could hear from those communities how our department can help increase wellness and health in our community. So with that, I'm actually going to turn it over to Catalina, who I don't know introduced herself, to kind of give you a high level, let her introduce herself, and then talk with you just a little bit about our outreach and engagement.
Yes, so my name's Catalina. I actually work with the communications and public engagement team, but my position is embedded in Parks and Rec. And just to touch a bit on that, so we actually have 2 community meetings planned already. The first one's going to be taking place here on February 1st from 5 to 7 p.m. And then the second meeting will be taking place at Inca High School in Candler on March 21st from 5 to 7 p.m. These communities will be interactive, so participants should come prepared to participate in various community parks and recreation, greenways, trails, and open space planning exercises. And we will have interpreters there for Spanish-speaking residents. In addition to that, the press release is actually going to go out today for the master plan, and there will be ongoing social media updates and public input updates. So if anyone is interested in live updates, that will be available on publicinput.com/BCParks.
Great, thank you very much. I think an important note about the master planning process is that Buncombe County is becoming more and more diverse, and the needs of the community are just increasing and growing. And one of the silver linings, again, I've said it before, of COVID was a rediscovering of nature and the benefits of parks and recreation and being in the outdoors. And so we're really seeing a desire for more recreation, outdoor activities, trails, and just open space in general. And so we're really wanting to concentrate on that, but also realizing that there's a lot of competing needs within our community as well. And so trying to navigate what are the needs of the community, where are they in alignment, and where are competing needs, and then how do we address those needs? Keeping in mind that we are in a county of 250,000 people, where there are 12 full-time employees in your recreation department with a budget of $2.5 million. And so really also hoping that this plan helps forecast where we need to be in terms of staffing and funding strategies. So any questions about the master plan? Yes, ma'am.
Well, first of all, I'm very excited because I think this is way needed for a long time. When you have these meetings, it's going to be about all 3 areas of open space, greenways, and parks and recreation. Are you going to divide that up somehow in
asking people their thoughts on these things? I mean, how is that gonna be? Because they're really three totally different,
Correct. Yes,
issues.
they are. Yes, yes. It's a great
How is
question.
that gonna be?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I appreciate you asking it. Pay you money later. That's a great question. So there's also a community survey that's gonna be going out, and it is very much broken up into 3 sections. And so each of those plans have a section where the community survey points specifically towards. When I talk about that, we have focus groups and stakeholder group meetings. Some of the focus groups will be specific to certain areas. And so we'll make sure that as a whole community, everyone has input into such. But where there are certain stakeholders that have a particular focus, those stakeholders may be invited to a stakeholder meeting that covers a couple. And so we're gonna be sure that we're reaching out in a way that we're capturing everything individually. And even at the community meeting, it's gonna be very interactive, and there's gonna be several what you call kind of stations, if you will, where each one is addressed, and there's a series of questions and opportunity for people to give their input. It's a great question, Dave.
I think this makes you realize that if you're representing a district in Buncombe County, it's important that you know homework for you. What recreation facilities, how do people participate in Buncombe County Parks and Rec from your district? And if you see there's something that we need to add to it, master plan time is the time to do it. Share it with this group, share it with staff members here, and we'll get the process started.
Could you identify that? I mean,
Identify what?
what facilities are in each district?
That's another great question.
Most definitely. One of the things that is included as part of the master plan is looking at current facilities, rating those facilities, and then talking about future needs. So, and one of the things we want to hear from the community is, do you participate? What kind of things are you participating in? If you don't participate, what are the barriers that are preventing you from participating? Because those barriers could be that we're not offering the proper things, or we don't have the right facilities, or maybe we have the right facilities, but they don't have transportation, and so we need to look at location. And so those are really some of the questions that we're going to focus on is, you know, how are you participating? What would you like to see? How would you participate? What are your barriers to participating? So then we can strategize how to remove some of those barriers.
And if you are a member of a community group, you know, ask them, is it the end? Say, I'm David Burdette, I'm a member of the Buncombe County Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. If you have any concerns or would like to throw any, you know, accolades to our department, please let me know and I'll pass it on. I mean, I think it's important. I mean, we're here to help these hard, overworking, beautiful people be successful.
And I would say that this group here will, the Recreation Advisory Board obviously has been established as a stakeholder group. And so we will be setting up a time with you all, with our consultant, to go through a series of questions and address those issues.
Joseph.
Awesome.
All right.
I'm not, you know, typical PowerPoint person, but, you know, I got some photos to show as I talk along, so. So the first thing I was gonna discuss is the new restroom at Lake Julian. This is the drawing of what it would look like. It's a prefab, restroom, so it's already built. We've already put the PO in. They're destroy the other building that's there now, and then take a crane, take this off the truck and set it down and hook it up. So it's a pretty easy construction process. We already have B Allen Construction under contract to do the work, so. And this just kind of shows you where that bathroom's located at Lake Julian. The next thing is they wrapped up the new paving at the sports park. They put in the turn lane, which hopefully helps on Saturdays. We'll find out during soccer season what really happens. But they added additional parking up on the top too, where the dog park's at, and also some additional speed bumps for the disc golf crossings and stuff like that, try to make it a little bit safer out there. Also, we have some new additional lighting up at field 8, which is the very top field. And you can also see the new parking area there, so that will kind of help during the night use and everything like that. Next, this one we just put in yesterday, we put in some new dog park play equipment at the sports park. So those are like some bow wow tunnels and, you know, well, it's still closed because the concrete has to sit and everything, but hopefully we can see some dogs running through those hoops and everything, but. Yeah, it might be a little muddy today, so. Another thing at the sports park, we replaced the safety netting. This was actually a FEMA project, from the last time we had really bad flooding. So now there's new additional netting around that complex. Also at the sports park is our new bathroom facility. That's gonna go up at the top there at field day. It's also gonna have kind of like that covered area, so that will be nice for users. We have this out, well, we got a bid back for this project, but we're working with the contractor right now to get it within budget. But everything's moving pretty forward on that one as well.
Any plans for the bathroom facilities on the disc golf course side of Lake Julian?
Yes, we went in front of budget for that. Yeah, that one is quite bad. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we get that and we can also probably do the same type of prefab building there. It's just easy, simple. This one is actually gonna be stick built, but it's only because it's up on that hill. So you can't really get a semi and a crane back in there, but it's off the style of the other prefab buildings, so they match. Cave Creek, we put some new fencing around the playground. This is actually fencing that we took down at the sports park and, you know, it's still in good shape, so we reused it out there at Cave Creek, so. We also removed some hazardous trees at the sports park, on the disc golf course. That's a pretty cool piece of equipment they used to get in there on the trails and everything, so. Out at Hominy Creek, we ripped up the old picnic tables, you can see, they're pretty bad. We ripped those up off the greenway and we are gonna install new ones. I met with the contractor yesterday and laid them out, so he's gonna start once it's, you know, not looking like this outside. And those are what the new ones are gonna look like. And then also exciting there is that we're gonna put an ADA picnic table with a pad right next to the parking lot. So it'll have wheelchair accessibility and everything.
Any thoughts on digging out the fishing platforms?
So we did discuss that, but since it's on that bank, you really have to do Army Corps of Engineers and, you know, it could be something we look at in the future, but right now it's, you know, yeah. And yeah, that was kind of what I have, so any questions on any projects? Cool.
Very exciting. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Sam.
Actually, I'm gonna turn it over to Max Stanley. Because, yeah, so he can speak to all of these great things because he's gonna be the person that's. Yeah.
Sure. So we're in the early stages, well, not early stages, but preparing for our 2024 Special Olympics Spring Games thing that we do out at TC Robertson. It's on May 2nd this year, 2024. That's just a big track and field event day for athletes that are in county schools and Asheville city schools. And that's an all-day event. It goes from 8 o'clock to about 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. And like Allison said, we had over 400 athletes there last year, and we're looking to slightly increase that number this year. So hopefully some of y'all can come out and check that event out because it's super sweet, super awesome. It's a great day. So in 2024, we're looking at some new events and new programming opportunities within the department. So I'm just gonna hit on kind of two of the ones that we're thinking of. We're thinking of other ones as well, but these are the ones that made the list. And so we're looking at March 23rd, we're gonna be looking at doing a like dog Easter egg hunt event at the Montgomery County Sports Park and the dog park. We don't really know how that's gonna work, but we thought it was a great idea, so we're gonna try it out. So, but
They look at Easter egg.
yeah, so you get like little doggy like Easter eggs. You put like dog treats in them and they like search around and like, so, Yeah, that's in our early stages. So, and then we have, we're looking at doing 2 spring break day camps during, spring break, spring break, obviously. And we're gonna do one of those at Owen Park, which is out in Owen, obviously. And then one at Lake Julia Park, and that's just gonna be a day of, well, I think we're having 15, we're opening it up to 15 children. And then we're gonna look to partner with some other people to come in and do some activities with kids, and just have a fun day during spring break. And then we're rolling out our core programming again, just like Allison said. But we're looking at more opportunities to go out to other places. We did community centers and our own parks. We're looking to expand to libraries and others alike. So,
Questions? Other announcements, any announcements from staff members? Somebody did get a chance to talk, so now's the time. Somebody didn't talk, so now's the time. What's happening? It's like Julian kid.
Oh, well, as Allison said, we just finished the Festival of Lights. We're in the process of getting all the lights down now, which is not nearly as fun as putting them up or working. So I equate it to driving to vacation, driving back. It's kind of a drive back, cool effect. So we're in the middle of that tomorrow, and Thursday, General Services is coming out to help us take down a lot of the big stuff. Still got thousands and thousands of feet of bolts and strands that we'll have to take down. So that's kind of our January process. I guess another big thing that's going on is we're switching to an online reservation program. So we've been kind of dealing with the bumps as we get to them. We went live January 2nd with that. That's also going to have all the registration for activities. Max in the middle of building all those into our calendar right now. So that's going to be great. It's a lot of, we're hitting a lot of speed bumps as we get into it, as you would with anything new. But as we get into that, it's really going to streamline the whole process from boat storage at Lake Julian to reservations across the whole department, all of our activities, everything like that's going to be really streamlined. So I'm having to sell that to my staff of, hey, it's going to be all right. We have to deal with this stuff right now, but it's going to make our lives easier. So that's an exciting thing for the department. But yeah, other than that, Lake Julian, we're taking down lights, dealing with online stuff, learning as we go, and get ready for spring. Work on our
More traffic and more home/department/condominiums going out.
Yeah.
So
That's a
you need
whole nother
to
discussion.
get more people to that.
That's a whole nother discussion. For sure.
So they will be so pleased to know they have a park in their backyard. So come on in.
Trying to get it ready.
That's right. Anything happening in the office?
Oh, indeed, we have the next cycle of the community recreation. Here, started February 5th through the end of March. People will be able to apply, and after that, we'll be asking some of you fine folks to help us select the winners.
Good. So just what are community recreation grants for those people who do not know?
Kind of exactly like it sounds. It's a grants to be award with maximum of $6,000 to local nonprofit organizations who want to enhance the community through recreation.
You know, we talk about $100,000 grants and $500,000 here and $5 million there, but $6,000 to a community that's trying to do something for the people who live within their community is huge. It's huge. So spread the word, go to the Parks and Recreation website, get an application, fill it out, turn it in, and pat this young man on the back, tell him you're interested.
And I do want to let you know that on the 10th, which is tomorrow, that there will be an open house for all of the grants that the county has. And I believe it runs from 4 until 6 o'clock. It's at 200 College Street. So any organization, nonprofit organization that you know that may be interested in the many grants that we have, there's at least 10 different grants that the county overall is responsible for. And so that is a great opportunity to get a packet to learn about all of the grant opportunities that are there, to meet the departments that are hosting, that are responsible for those grants. We will be there to talk with folks, to help people make the strongest possible case for their grant and ask any questions that you have. So that is tomorrow from 4 to 6 at 200 College Street.
And let me just underline that just a minute. So much of the money that is spent for public use comes through grants and whether it's county level, state level, federal level, whatever, this money is coming down, but you have to have a good reason to ask for it. You have to have a good grant writer. You need to have people who know how to go through these forms. So this is a great example of the county doing something to help people who are interested in writing grants. Nonprofit organizations is what's been talked about right here. If you know organizations that want to participate, please send them in our direction. Really to help. What they say, I'm not even here. Yeah, go ahead.
I just had a question. We've actually been a
Yes,
recipient of several of those grants. I think over the last 3 years, we've been kind of slowly building, so love that and thank you all for the support there. I'm curious how the conflict of interest works now that I'm on the board, like, I'm still, I recognize, I don't know what the policy is there.
Yeah, well, I think what the overlaying thing is we ask board members to help rate, so you would.
Great. I would imagine it's like. But we could still.
So we'll make sure, no, I'm not, I will make sure that there's separation.
Okay.
So that is.
But I appreciate you.
But no, those grants, and honestly, that's how we've done our project, so it took us a couple of years, but we were like 6,000 years, it went a long way for a small project, so.
Yeah. Well, anybody have anything?
Yeah, one minute comment, this is gonna be an exciting year. When it comes to there's so much happening, and especially with the, update of the master plan and, three sort of going together. I would like to propose, if possible, that we meet more than quarterly, that we meet at least every other month, because I feel like we are going to be advocates in a lot of ways for a lot of this, for the department, for the things that you're trying to accomplish. And I feel like we need to be kept up to date more than every 3 months on what's happening. So I would like to, I know it probably have to be a vote, and maybe discussion about whether it's, something that's worthy of, consideration.
Well, and I think your point is well taken, and I know we met monthly and then we decided several months ago to meet quarterly. I think the feeling that I had, and I do not object to frequent meetings, I felt like it was more to pull the staff in on what they were doing, to prepare for our meetings. I didn't want to do that. So, but I do not object to every other month. I'm very excited about being midday and not the staff having to leave or come to a meeting. That's one thing. So if, Allison, if you could weigh in, or anybody could weigh in, if it was proposed to change to every other month, would anybody have a concern about that?
And nobody on the staff does, so that would be up for the board members. I think, I appreciate the point that you made. When we were first starting every month, there was a lot that was happening and it was difficult.
Yeah, and I'm just going to interrupt you. Allison, we had a new director at the time. We had a staff that was adjusting to a new director who had, they had been operating basically under Lynn, I would say, months, had new members to the staff. They were doing a good job just to keep their nose right on the level. And I thought, we're taking them away to write an agenda, to bring a report when they're doing the work. The floor is open for a motion to move this meeting from quarterly to every other month, which means we would meet again in March rather than April. But Ann, would you like to make that? I'll make that motion. Second, David seconds it. Is there any discussion? Further discussion?
I would just say from a leadership person standpoint of view, like we got to talk to you and got some extra people, I'm like. More, like you mentioned, you got all these new people, they didn't know what's going on. I know from my standpoint of view, I'm only meeting 4 times this year, about 3 years from now, I'll speak. You know, I mean. So, I just think that maybe, you do it every other month, at least there's more consistency in what's going on. You know, the ideas are fresher and. It doesn't seem like you'll spend every 3 months, you'll just rehash what you talked about in the last meeting. And then you'll wait 3 months to do it again.
And I would say from a staff perspective that we really value this advisory board and really and truly want you to be an active advisory board who's helped stewarding and giving us ideas and helping be advocates for all of the projects that are happening. So I think I speak for everyone to say that we welcome the opportunity for more participation.
Okay, for advisory members only. Now, staff can't say no. Advisory members only. All in favor, please say aye. Appreciate it. This is a good group. I've had a pretty good day. It's a pretty good day. So I really next session.
We'll make it March the 13th. March, we'll keep the second Tuesday of the month, and we'll be March the 13th.
And you can get.
We'll do our best to have it here. I'll have to check. But, yeah, if something changes, we will just find out another library location. And if this is good, but I'll ask them for.
Well, this has been fun, and I'm glad to see you all. And we will see you in 2 months, but we're close to Cletus. Thank you very much.
Yes, maybe it was a charge. I'm like, big deal. I know that bumped up the meetings, we still get.
If I'm making a lunch meeting, it's a working meeting, you get lunch.
Thank you.